The following podcast is set for at least 1 hour. Introducing your hosts, from Fort Worth, Texas, at a total combined weight of 430 pounds, Kevin and Chris Newell. The Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Hey, wrestling fans, how's it going? I'm Kevin.
And I'm Chris.
No, hang on here. In case you didn't know our names, if you're new to the show.
He had to find the name thingy.
I did. Because we're...
He lost it again.
What?
Hmm?
I didn't lose it again. What are you talking about? Anyway, how's everybody doing this evening? How's everybody's weekend been going? I see we got some people in our chat now. We've got we got DJ the Juggalo in our Twitch chat. We've got ANW La Parca. Yes, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Funny. That's a lot to take in there, Juggalo. As always, if you're following along on our Twitch chat, he comes uncensored. All right, so a lot to get to.
Who's ADR?
A&W. Oh, ADR?
Yeah.
Ruined his legacy. I can't remember the abbreviation right now. Anyway, got a lot to get to. Got a lot to cover. Of course, we're going to be going over everything that went down with WWE Raw tonight. So we're about to get into that here in a sec. Just making sure we got everything all set up, rocked, and ready to go. Chris, you all set? How you been doing? Microphone's hiding your face, by the way. You smart aleck.
Nobody can see me now. I'm completely hidden. Oh.
As long as you can speak up. Guy who won the 2020. Oh, yeah. Alberto Del Rio. That's who ADR was. Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and kick things off by going over everything that happened on Raw.
A lot of companies are like that nowadays, come to think of it.
Yeah. All right. Chris, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. You all set?
Yep.
Just realized I didn't start recording our audio portion here. Okay. So for those that are listening to our actual podcast, that's audio. We apologize. There was
I'm Kevin. This is great. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, there was a bit of an
I'm
audio
Chris.
snafu there. Didn't hit record when we were recording our own audio, but we're here. So we're going to go ahead and recap over everything that's going on with Monday Night Raw. And then go ahead and I'll go over the news, and we'll have a nice discussion about wrestling. And, of course, talk to everybody that jumps in our chat, whether you're coming in through Kick, coming in through Twitch, or coming in through YouTube. If you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and follow us and ring the bell notification to let you know when we go live.
Did you see Otis turn blue?
I saw Otis turn blue.
Dabba-dee-dabba-die.
Dabba-dee-dabba-die. All right. So, Chris.
Or if I don't know. Apparently there's debate about what comes after that, so.
Okay.
It's something about being green, and because of that they die. I don't know, something.
Wow.
Something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, fire away.
So tonight on NXT, Monday Night Raw, started off with Jey Uso calling out Logan Paul, but instead we had a different Paul come out, Paul Heyman. Of course, there was some back and forth accusation type stuff going on. And it ended up leading to Paul blaming Punk for making him betray Roman, and blaming Roman for losing his title for disappearing after Mania, and even for solo attacking Paul Heyman and causing him some time being out.
Well, not only that, he just snapped. Paul just went snap, turned red, and
Yeah,
was spitting and slurring and starting to sound like an upset Daffy Duck.
yeah. I didn't expect that comparison.
I know.
But it's funny. No
Trying-
potato this time.
No potatoes. All right.
We're gonna have to do that again, though.
Maybe.
Potato
We'll see.
good.
We'll see. Go ahead.
Eventually, he gets to saying what he actually came out for, and that would be telling Jay that Seth wants the title, and letting Jay pick the time and the place. And he's like, all right, so if it can be any time or anywhere, why not now? So that ended up being made the main event for tonight.
Okay.
Then you had Penta and JD, that match.
You're jumping around again.
Yeah?
Yeah. You saw backstage.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Paul was saying he just played right into our trap and knew that he was going to do that. So it was like they had a plan all along. Yeah, I thought Paul was just going to drop right there while he was over here ranting and raving. I was like, okay, Paul, calm down. Let's breathe.
I was like, I was thinking that he's he's kind of old, isn't he? Like a bit old to be getting that excited about.
I would say he's in his mid. No, I'd say 60s. I want to say 60s. He's up there in age.
Anyway, back to the thing. Basically, just talking about how it was a trap and everything.
Yeah.
Then you had the first match, which was Penta versus Judgment Day, being represented by interference. I mean, there was plenty of interference, though. Let's be honest. Interference seems to be like the main thing with Judgment Day matches.
Yeah.
Any faction match, really, but Judgment Day kind of is dependent on it.
Yeah.
He was taking on JD McDonough. So at some point, one of those interference attempts was Carlito, but he failed. Then Finn attempted interference attacking Penta, but he got caught. Match was ended. The match wasn't ended. Even though usually it would be. Instead, Finn and Carlito were ejected from ringside, and later Chad Gable would try to interfere, and eventually he was attacked by Penta. Match ended when Penta successfully pinned JD McDonough.
Okay.
Next, you had this promo between Nick Aldis and
Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce.
Raw Nick Aldis.
The Raw Nick Aldis.
Yeah. I said I was going to be doing that, so.
I think that's next week. Finn wasn't involved in a match, but he probably will be.
Trap and Seth still lost.
Next week. What?
He's talking about the main event.
Yeah. Spoiling it. Don't spoil. No spoils here. We'll get to that in a second.
I mean, Paul Heyman thinks he's spoiling things all the time, so.
Well, that's Paul Heyman's thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
But, yeah. So they were talking to Nick Aldis's, or Raw's version of Nick Aldis. And
A-Town Down Under.
A-Town Down Under. And they were basically asking for Grayson's match to be passed to Theory. Immediately, something seemed a little off about that. And when they got to them, and there was a mystery opponent too, so it was like, yeah, he's setting him up.
Yeah.
And he was set up indeed. It was Austin Theory versus Sheamus. And
Sheamus returning.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that. He's been out for however
Since
long.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in action since the Royal Rumble, and he came back for another banger.
Yeah. One that Grayson didn't seem to want to be super involved in.
No, he didn't.
Because he wasn't helping Theory at all during this match, it seemed.
No. It's starting to be clearly obvious that A-Town Down Under is actually going down.
They're going under.
They're going down and they're going under.
They're going down and under. Something, I don't know.
Phrasing.
Yeah, Well, the thing is, there was someone else that had a phrasing moment. I forget. I took note of it. It's all right. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. You'll get a meme from us here pretty soon on that one.
Some of them were. Some of them were.
Yeah, very weird.
Let's see. Okay, so match ended when Sheamus pinned Austin Theory.
But then according to Cole and Pat, off camera, they were having a little argument, Theory and Waller.
Yeah. Which, again, makes sense considering how he just set him up against Sheamus.
Very
Just
true.
led him into this not telling him nothing.
Okay.
Then cut backstage to the Judgment Day. And AJ Styles eventually walks in and makes the point that no matter who wins at Backlash or whatever, he's going to be coming after the title. And towards the end of that, you had Dom asking Finn to deal with AJ because they have history. And Finn seemed to snap a little bit before eventually, I guess, deciding to help.
He's doing this thing where he will be mad and look very angry, and then switch to being,
all nice and happy.
yeah, it's like, you want me to clean up your... Okay, I'll do it for you. Okay, that's fine. Part of Judgment Day, yeah. It's going to happen.
We're all friends. We're friends.
I think it's going to happen at SummerSlam, because it seems that SummerSlam is the time where Judgment Day got people just turned on each other, because last
The
year...
SummerSlam curse of Judgment Day.
Last year, yeah, you had Finn turn on Damian Priest.
You had the weird...
Then you had Dom turn on Rhea.
Yeah.
Then the whole Judgment Day turned on both Damian and Rhea. So, I mean, SummerSlam is probably where it's going to happen. Call me crazy.
Let's see. Then you had Gable and the New Day talking about how... essentially setting his group up to try and stall the War Raiders a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But
Well, next week they have a match.
yeah.
American Made and War Raiders next week on Raw.
She kind of was, I'm going to be honest. And the thing is, funny he mentions that because she actually like arrived during this promo and started making her way to the ring.
Yeah.
And then after that, of course, they go to break. They come back, and she's in the ring. And essentially was just complaining for however long I was. Again, I don't. We're
She
not
was saying
timing it.
she was the victim and all this other stuff.
A lot of people wanted to play the victim card tonight. It
A
seems.
lot. And I've got one in the news story that I'll relay. Yeah.
Who's playing victim this time, brother?
Okay. No, there's no stories of him. Don't worry.
Let's see, where was I? And eventually Lyra came out talking about how Becky Lynch did not make her. And people were better because while Becky Lynch was gone, and Becky ended up saying that it's because she was gone that they looked better. And then, of course, they started comparing achievements, and Lyra pointed out that while Becky had all these firsts, Lyra was the first Intercontinental Women's title holder.
Yeah.
And that made Becky mad, and they started fighting.
And Lyra got the better end of the fight with Becky.
She did. She was still standing at the end of that.
Yeah.
Then you had the next match, which was Roxanne Perez versus Io Sky. I think it was a non-title match.
It was.
Match ended when Io pinned Perez, and there was this handshake thing, which we thought was going to be a trap.
I mean, it was a well-fought match, and then Perez held her own, and then all of a sudden, yeah, she goes to shake Io's.
And we thought she was going to like attack her right then and there, because we always see that, right? But she didn't, and she started walking away. Then Julia came out and attacked Sky. But then you had Perez turn around and start fighting, and we thought Rhea... I was thinking Rhea was going to come out after that,
But
try and even things out.
that wasn't going to happen because Rhea is still in Perth, visiting family and...
Wait a minute, I thought she did come out.
No, she didn't. No one came out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No one came out.
That was during the recap.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't. But the match I think was made for next week. It's gonna be like a tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that match, you had Otis. I was about to say Otis.
You're about to call him Otis.
Oh, I mean, both are his names. So
Right.
he was taking on Rusev with his faction Alpha Academy at ringside. He ended up tapping out, and that's of course the whole purple thing that Jacob mentioned. For those in our Twitch chat. And then after that, you had the Tozawa stand up for Otis because he started walking out of the ring.
And I noticed Tozawa was speaking perfect English, yelling at Rusev. I noticed that.
Cool.
Call me crazy. I thought someone else was going to come out, but it's too soon for someone to come out and help.
I'm going to be waiting for that match now.
Oh, Bronson Reed and Rusev? Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one.
Jacob versus Rusev. That could be another cool match.
Very true. Jacob and Rusev would be a good fight to watch.
Or even better, Jacob and Bronson Reed versus Rusev triple threat.
Oh, God. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But, let's see. Yeah, that would be Dad's match of the night immediately. It wouldn't. Just because it's a triple threat.
No. No, it wouldn't.
I mean,
you really know how to try to get my goat, but it's not happening tonight. No, not tonight. Nah.
Soundboard's still ain't working, so. Oh well. Yeah. Okay, we'll find the thing for it. But Rusev started to leave, but then turned around and ended up attacking them again anyway. Then you had this sort of face-off before SummerSlam Saturday.
Not SummerSlam. Backlash.
Not quite SummerSlam, but
yeah,
also
SummerSlam
not quite
is like
Mania
August.
Anymore. They didn't. I guess he wasn't released.
No, he wasn't released because he's injured.
Yeah. Next, I was about to say next match, but again, the thing with Pat and Gunther, where during that you had Gunther insulting Cole, Pat defending him. Then of course the whole phrasing thing.
Yeah, and you'll see it. I'll make a meme or a video of it and be like,
yeah.
It's going to be funny. I guarantee and promise you it will be funny.
And the thing is, I wonder if anybody else, like, they're caught on to it or if he caught on to it, because...
I'm pretty sure there's people out there that are watching, people watching that caught on to what Pat McAfee was talking about, and I'll point that out with that video as soon as I get it.
I also kind of wonder if he did that on purpose.
Probably, knowing Pat McAfee.
But at some point you had Pat say that Gunther is getting too comfortable, that this current version is soft.
Oh, yeah.
And then that promo thing ended with Gunther threatening all these different things to Pat. After that, we get on to our main event, which was Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso, title, not contender match, but title on the line.
For the first time in, they said, about 7 months since the title has been put on the line on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Because I think it was Seth Rollins doing, like, open challenges and whatnot. Sort of.
Yeah.
But, of course, you had Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman at ringside. At some point, you started having Paul Heyman sort of singing,
irritatingly singing the songs.
And it's like, wait a minute, he can sing?
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to start trying to sing Rollins' song. And then we also had the thought noticing that the new WWE Netflix table thing is kind of coming apart easier since Mania happened.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of guys want to throw each other on the damn table nowadays.
But the thing is, when they first started, they were throwing each other at it a lot, and it just did not budge.
There was no give. Yeah.
Let's see, at some point you had interference from Breakker.
Of course.
And because of that, you had Sammy come out, and they started fighting. And then you had Paul Heyman distract the ref. Wait, who?
I don't know.
I guess we'll get to that after finish the recap here. Where was I? Oh yeah. You had Paul distract the ref, and Breakker took advantage, spearing Jay. But before, I was thinking he was going to kick out. You were thinking he was going to kick out. But you also said CM Punk was going to show up. And then right as soon as you finished saying, Punk was going to come out, he came out.
Of course.
Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, immediately after he finished saying that. Not even the slightest delay, it seemed.
Probably like a millisecond after I completed the sentence.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you hear his theme song hit.
And immediately I just looked at him.
Like I was Nostradamus of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I was saying the whole night, it's either CM Punk or Roman Reigns that's going to come out.
Last year I was predicting things, now it's his turn.
Yeah.
And then maybe Sokol will get a turn, I don't know.
Who knows?
Well, apparently I guess we're taking turns knowing, so. But he came out and attacked Seth and Breakker, so I think that match ended in like DQ or something.
But I didn't ever hear the bell ring.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think it ended in DQ.
I think it did.
Because I don't remember anyone getting the 3 count. I don't remember anyone tapping out. I'm gonna go with DQ or no contest or whatever.
Okay. And that was it for Monday Night Raw. So a bit of breaking news, and I'm going to switch over here to news. Immediately after Raw went off the air, Jey Uso got jumped by Logan Paul.
I guess it was a good thing it happened after they went off the air then.
Yeah. Seeing in the chats here, Raw was boring. It usually kind of is a bit slow going, and it's only because it's this is the go-home show before Backlash.
That Chris, not this Chris. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going? So yeah, it was the go-home show. Usually go-home shows, it can be a bit lagging, a bit boring, and it's only because they're building up to the pay-per-view, which is this Saturday, which we will be going over afterward on Saturday, and probably during the press conference too. Now also don't forget this Thursday, just a reminder for you guys, this Thursday we got double duty. We've got TNA Impact and Collision, so we're going to be kind of late Thursday night going over everything. Hopefully TNA doesn't do another late episode like they did last week. So, yeah.
You remember back in the day when AEW used to compete with WWE. Now they have to compete with TNA instead.
Yeah, well, they got to compete with the combined efforts of TNA and WWE, because TNA, like I've been saying, is under that umbrella of TKO. That's the same company that WWE is with.
I just think it's funny that they used to be like pictured as this big rival for WWE. Meanwhile, here they are in smaller arenas than NXT.
Yeah.
Maybe smaller than TNA now. I don't know.
No, they still try to do big arenas. But they try, but they move the crowd over to the point where if you're doing a pano shot of the crowd, you're only getting
at least we can move the camera a little bit.
Yeah. As opposed to other angles, because it's always that hard camera angle you don't see fully. You'll see people at ringside, but not a whole lot of people behind them because the cameras are back there. All right, so
Which Chris? That Chris or this Chris?
very confusing. You remember Gunther tapping? Yeah, he said he was going to bring that up, but he never did. Go figure. So, in the news, there's one big news story that has been conquering the whole entire day. I'll get to that.
WWE got sued by a Panda organization and had to change their name to WWE.
No. And that was very 2002 of you. No.
I still think that's funny. Honestly.
He was talking to you. What was with the awesome chants?
I don't know. There's been awesome chants are confusing as of late.
Yeah, because what they say was confusing is, I mean, what is awesome is really not. Speaking of which,
especially on AEW,
match of the night.
Sometimes they'll just start chanting "This is awesome," and we won't know why.
Yeah.
And it's like I get if it's like something that happened during the match, but sometimes it's just something.
Right. So match of the night tonight. I say it's the main event. The main event? Okay.
Yeah.
So we say match of the night is Jay versus Seth Rollins for the world title.
That reminds me.
Plus-
To check.
Yeah.
We might have to extend match of the night for last
Or
week.
match of the week.
Yeah, match of the week for last. Yeah.
For last week.
Because it's still.
We have a four-way tie, basically, is what he's trying to say. We had four people
Still
vote,
a four-way
and
tie.
it's still a four-way tie.
I was making sure that someone else didn't vote.
Yeah, so they can't see. That's a good point.
Everything's awesome.
Yeah.
When
So,
you're-
yeah, we've got a four-way tie for 4 different matches.
Those
So,
the-
we need
Should I say
people
what the
to...
matches are?
Yeah.
Mike Santana and Mustafa Ali for the pay-per-view. For Impact, Breaker and Sami Zayn last week on Raw.
Okay.
Then you had Miz and Aleister Black Friday SmackDown.
SmackDown.
And then Alexander and Brody King on Saturday last week.
Those are the 4 that everyone is saying that it's a 4-way tie.
If I had to pick one of those, I would say Aleister Black and Miz.
Okay, I would say that as well.
Santana and Ali, Revolution or whatever.
Rebellion.
Rebellion, yeah.
TNA Rebellion.
Breaker and Zayn last week. Then Raw last week. Miz and Aleister Black, SmackDown. And then Alexander and Brody King, Collision. I'm saying Miz and Aleister Black. If I had to break the tie, what are you saying?
Let me see them again. Let me see. Because you got them on your phone here. I would probably...
We don't have to agree. It's fine.
I would still say Josh Alexander and Brody King. Because that went to the full time limit. And you rarely see that nowadays. But then again, WWE doesn't put a time limit on their matches anymore.
Not publicly anyway.
It's AEW that puts the time limit. But yeah, we need
We'll
your guys.
probably have Triple H talk about that in the WWE documentary.
Probably
How behind yeah.
So yeah,
Just peel back the curtain and reveal a massive clock.
yeah. So what we need from you guys is your help in voting. We need you guys to go ahead and join our Discord and lock in your votes. I did put a link out earlier today to join. Chris had put one out earlier, so get to those Discords. Join our Discord. Lock in your vote. We want to get the vote for match of the week. Because match of the month, last month, was the TLC match on SmackDown. We're starting a whole new month, and we're going to try to find out in the next, this week and the 3 weeks after, what is match of the month for the month of May. So, with that, we go right into the news. Kicking things off with a big announcement for...
He said he's still waiting for the link.
He's asking you. Can you go ahead and...
Like, I invited him, like, I sent him, because he was already in the service, so I went through the cross-promo thing and sent him the invite, but, something about not being in the same server or something.
Oh.
So I'm thinking you can send it to him through, like, TikTok or something.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. So big news for Big E. He has
Big E
announced through Instagram earlier today that he is engaged to be married. Big E gonna have a big wedding. He is marrying Kristen Yim, who is the sister of Mia Yim, also known as Mi Chin. So Mi Chin is going to be Big E's sister-in-law. I want to be at that wedding when he's about to come out and he does the old New Day thing. Oh, everybody at the wedding. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your bridegroom. That thing. That'd be, that would be better if they do it right at the wedding reception. It is tradition when you announce at the wedding reception when the bride and the groom come in, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, someone comes in and does that. I would laugh at that. He's going to have a bit. So, yeah, he made the post on Instagram showing photos of the engagement. They were having a nice dinner, quiet dinner with each other. And he put into the quotations there, "Thank God for the New Day. Amen to that." He said, quote, "I can't wait to be your husband at Chris Yim. Thank you, Last Supper Society, for making this day perfect." It was Last Supper Society that made like the customized menu. And, of course, this was after she said yes. It said, "Till death do us part" kind of thing. It said, it shows on, just go to his Instagram page. It's pretty good. Pretty classy. All right. Now we go to AEW. Dread yourself and lock yourselves in for the most ridiculous news of AEW there is possibly known to
How
date.
ridiculous is it? How ridiculous?
Not this one. This one, AEW has quietly taken some two guys off of their roster page. And so congratulations in the comments. I said you're supposed to be a heel. Speaking of them, I like this version of the New Day. You know what I do too? I miss the heel New Day. When they turn around and go face again sometime down the road, they'll ask for Big E again. But anyway, Dutch and Vincent, the Righteous.
What, they got released?
I wouldn't say they got released, but they got taken off the website, the roster website of AEW. No news as to why, because they were quietly removed. Now, the last time we saw the Charles Manson snapping guys walking through, it was back in September of 2024 during the Casino Tag Team Gauntlet.
A whole year ago.
Almost. It feels like it was a whole year ago. It was the Gauntlet match on Dynamite. Of course, it was the tag match won by now enemies Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay.
Way back in the olden days.
Way back in ye olden days. Okay. Well, you're going to have to fight, what is his name? If you're wanting to date Me Chin, you're going to have to, what is his name? I forget now.
I don't know who's married to who.
Okay.
Like at all.
You're making me look it up now.
Hasn't he said he wanted to date like all of the female superstars or wrestlers at some point or another? I don't think he can date all of them.
Well, he does say a lot of things on our lives. Keith Lee.
Oh no.
That's who she's married to. So you're going to have to put up a fight with Keith Lee. Yeah.
I don't think anybody has any clue who got released quietly, because they released him quietly. So
Yeah, they just took him off the page without saying anything. Sometimes that happens. Also in AEW news, I don't know if anybody has heard.
Is this the crazy one?
This is the crazy one. Mercedes Mone. That's how you start it. You know, you start
Okay,
and laugh
I
it.
believe you.
Okay, she has done this. Started this texting service. She started this last week, and it's like a per month service you have to pay.
You have to pay Mone?
You have to pay Monet. So if you're wanting to personally text Mercedes Monet, and this gives you access to her actual phone number to text her, it's basically $100. You pay $100 a month, and you have full access to talking to her through text message.
For a second, I thought you were going to say her number, and it's like, I don't know if we should do that.
Nope. It says, according to her website, her own personal website, quote, exclusive one-on-one personal and private access. Reserved only for the biggest supporters. That's what it says. So you got to fork over $100 just to text her.
Doesn't sound weird at all.
Well, a lot of fans were like firing back at her with a lot of things. Today she had tried to hit back at fans by posting on Twitter a photo of herself with her phone, kind of smiling, going through her phone, backstage at an event. She only did it because of overwhelming criticism. Would you like to hear this
Yes.
criticism? Criticism
Yes.
from the fans. Are you guys ready for this?
Juggalo.
You know,
At
someone
least
probably
one person has
you
done
probably
that.
won't be the first person that thought of that. Just to let
And
you
then
know.
there's probably a few people that are gonna legit get it just to mess with her or something. I wonder how long this is gonna last.
I want to know people that are in our chat, or if you're watching our YouTube channel the day after, leave in the comment section. Would you pay $100 just to text message a professional wrestler? If so, which professional wrestler? But more importantly, would you want to send text messages to Mercedes Monet? Would you? Would you want to send text messages to a professional wrestler?
I wouldn't know which.
You wouldn't. Would you? No. The question is, would you put down $100 just
No.
to text a
No.
professional wrestler? Okay.
If
Why
it was-
not?
Because for one, it's like, I mean, at least not her.
Okay.
Definitely not her.
Okay. Then that Chris, not this Chris. If you were to pay $100, that's the question. Take Mercedes Monet out of the equation, because obviously no one wants to text message her. If you were to put down $100 and text message to their personal phone any professional wrestler, who would it be? I've got from DJ the Juggalo, he would say he would text message Jacob Fatu. But who would you pick and why? Rhea Ripley? Okay. You would text message Rhea Ripley. That Chris, not this Chris, said that.
You would probably say CM Punk.
I would say CM Punk. I would lay $100 down just to text message CM Punk. I would think it would be awesome to be friends with CM Punk. But then I have too long of a list of wrestlers I would like to have on my
Friends list.
on my on my friends list or text message. Oh, okay. Still waiting on your answer.
Say any wrestler?
Any wrestler. $100.
Bray Wyatt or Bo Dallas, I think.
Okay, well, Bray Wyatt's passed on.
One of the two,
It would be Bo Dallas then.
I would say.
Okay. Text message his brother Bo Dallas. You got to remember, Bray Wyatt cannot text from the beyond. Okay?
I'm just saying any if it was like any wrestler
Alive.
alive.
I have to put in that restriction for you, really?
I did ask Eddie, and you did say yes.
I thought you would understand alive. Anyway, I would not want to put.
He'll kidnap you. Dexter would. Dexter might.
You would text. That would
Dexter
that would be
another
funny.
one.
Okay.
But at the same time, I mean that is like $99 that could
Been put to something else. So here's some of the response she got back to people on Twitter, and these are all going to be actual quotes.
Just look at Juggalo's comments.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
One person posted, quote, "Y'all do know that won't be her texting. Come on now."
That too.
Very well could be a bot.
It's probably
Someone
gonna be a
put,
bot.
"So many dummies gonna pay and think she herself is actually replying. Whole time it's an AI bot or some dude overseas." There you go. That's one way to get him.
$100 just to say tiny ball.
Another person saying, "Just when you think she couldn't get more annoying." Another person said,
Someone
"Absolutely."
in the YouTube chat. Welcome.
Who's that?
I think it says Handsome Grim.
New chatter, handsome Grim. Okay.
Or Grim.
Welcome.
Either Grin or Grim. It's kind of hard to see from here.
Grim. Handsome Grim.
Welcome.
Welcome. So one person, when asked if they would ever pay for texting access, they said absolutely effing not. One person then went on to said, "If you believe that you'll be talking to her, I'm an Indonesian prince that has $1 million I want to give to you. Just drop your account and routing number below." That's how you jab at them right there like that. Then there were some people, sir, goodness. What is that? Apparently we've got good news coming.
What's the good news?
Civil service exam. Congratulations to you, Grim.
Cool.
Handsome Grim getting his silver. I can't even speak today. But congratulations to you. Other people have took aim at her wrestling ability, as one should, calling her overrated and mid-card at best, while one fan had just went on and told her, went on and said, "She is awful on the mic." But out of all this, one person, it seems, one or a few. Also, which promoter is the best right now? Triple H or
Triple H.
I would say Triple H. Thank you for the question. Triple H.
Triple H or Tony Khan.
If I had to choose, I'd say Triple H right now. One person stood up for Mercedes Moné, saying, "All for her." What is this person saying? "All for her getting her bag, but I hope she's doing this in the best, safest way possible. There's a lot of weirdos in this world."
Who are you looking at?
Then one person, "I'm not a fan of Bailey. Becky is more of a..." I can understand that. They're not pushing Bailey as like they used to. One person said jokingly, "Love Mercedes." They dropped her actual like Twitter account, but come on. But it's better than OnlyFans.
I was thinking something similar because it sounds like something someone on OnlyFans would do.
Well, there are some that have been released by surprised about.
I was
Braun.
surprised about Braun too.
Yeah. He was picking up some momentum and then just they stopped the freight train.
Literally.
All right. Moving on to back to WWE now. So you want to talk about, you were talking about earlier how someone was whining or whatever. I think you were talking about Becky Lynch.
Well, more so complaining.
Complaining? Okay. Well, good old...
Whining is more of Mone's thing.
Okay. Well, Drew McIntyre is back and crying again on social media. This time,
not really.
not anymore. Drew McIntyre had completed a list on Dropkicked.
Or Boohoo Drew.
Boohoo Drew. Boohoo Drew sounds
Boohoo
good.
Drew McIntyre.
Boohoo Drew McIntyre had put down a list. God, I wish I had that soundbite right now.
You just made the list.
He had put a list on Dropkicked titled "All the Times Drew McIntyre Was Screwed." So,
How long was the list?
it was only 11 examples. Let me explain or say to
He
you
should have
guys.
taken one off just so we could go through it like a top 10 list.
So,
Because
I
everybody
know.
Because
But,
everybody in
we
their
can
mom
still do
loves
that.
top
We can,
10s.
you know what? We can still do that with 11. Coming in at number 11. Him facing Roman Reigns and losing to Roman Reigns at WWE's Clash at the Castle 2022 for the WWE/Universal title.
How did he get screwed by losing?
Solo's debut. Solo came out and Samoan spiked him, and that's when Solo debuted on the main roster.
That's just bloodline business.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think that
he's
counts.
he's boo-hooing about it. Coming in at number 10, the WWE World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 40.
I feel like a lot of people in AEW could be better. It's just Tony Khan is using them wrong.
Exactly. Dream match: Joe Hendry versus Jay White. That would be actually.
Yeah.
I'd pay money to see that. Anyway, back here to number 10. Him losing the title to Damian Priest at WrestleMania 10. That was his own fault.
He literally screwed himself. So, I mean,
If we were to start a list of how many times Drew screwed Drew, that would be right there on the list.
that would be an even longer list.
The World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 40, Drew beating Seth Rollins. I don't know how that was. I think this list just doesn't make sense anymore now.
What, did he get cashed in on or something?
Yeah. That's the same.
Or is that the one where
He did.
there
Okay,
was one where he got distracted by Punk?
that was WrestleMania 40.
Okay, that's the one where.
It's a bit confusing there. I would just count the time Damian Priest came out, but then again, that was his own fault. The triple threat match at Money in the Bank in 2024, getting screwed out of that one by losing to Damian Priest in a triple threat match against him, Drew, Damian, and Seth. Then he brings up just this past Royal Rumble, the one that Jey Uso won. He got screwed out of that one.
I think we said that we're not big fans of Hogan.
Oh, yeah, we're not. Apologize if we didn't answer that for you. Could have sworn we did, but nope, not a big fan.
Yeah.
Next up, the elimination chamber that just happened got screwed out of that one. The one that John Cena just won. Then got screwed out of the World Heavyweight title, number one contendership fatal 4-way match. I think he's got his things mixed up here because he put in Ricochet. He lost to Ricochet and Bronson Reed and Jey Uso. Oh, it was a number one contender match. Jey Uso won. Then, of course, the strap match he had with Karrion Kross at Extreme Rules in 2022.
Well, that's Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross won that one. The Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank 2022.
I mean, it was kind of part of.
I agree. Joe Hendry
They
will
are.
debut. Oh, I feel Joe Hendry will be debuting
He already
soon.
showed up at Mania. It's kind of. I feel it's inevitable.
Yeah. And then lastly, a non-title Raw versus SmackDown match, Survivor Series at 2020. He lost to Roman Reigns.
I don't think I was watching it.
No, not at that time. So, yeah. that was the list that Drew cries himself to sleep with. Now, the big news that has been going on all day today is regards to WWE and its acquisition of AAA Wrestling. Now, a lot of people have been talking. They've gotten some wrestlers from AAA through the acquisition. I'm going to give you the list here. Hio de Dr. Wagner. Hio del Vikingo. That one we know. La Parka. The legendary La Parka.
Jackalo's back.
Had to go back from the bathroom. Okay. La Hydra. Lady Flamer. And Lady Maravilla. And Nino Hamburguesia.
I would probably butcher all of these names anyway.
I really tried pronouncing the names. But the one name that has gotten everybody going nuts, Alberto Del Rio, as mentioned earlier by Juggalo. Yes, possibly. There have been talks of Triple H actually opening up an NXT in Mexico, and that's here in this news story too. But first, I want to go over this news about Alberto Del Rio. They're saying that he was signed. Let me scroll down here because it's like so many stories that we're covering just this one subject, so I put all those stories into one.
Over here, we got the background, the backstory, lore thing.
So, the man that is, let me see. Let me get see about getting his.
But back to Joe Hendry while he's looking for that.
Yeah, go ahead.
When do you think he's going to be debuting in WWE?
Good question.
Like, and not just that, but would it be on a pay-per-view or a weekly show? Yeah.
No, actually, I've got the story here. The man that was that's helping out with the contract negotiations and everything like that. His name is Ocampo. His last name is Ocampo. I couldn't get the first name, but he took to Twitter and saying that the AAA contracts are a joke. I'm quoting him now. The AAA contracts are a joke. Any lawyer could invalidate them. Excuse me. WWE is offering contracts backed by TKO and including many clauses that AAA's don't account for. Their idea is to sign around 10 to 12 wrestlers from AAA's current roster. Obviously, this doesn't mean all of them will wrestle in U.S. shows. It'd be difficult for La Hydra to appear at the same time as Stephanie Vakir because it's the same person. Then he was talking about the recruitment plans.
I mean, you seem to think Gable is Americano. So.
He is. Don't start that again.
I mean, if those two could appear at the same time, then these other two can too. So
Ray very well could be the GM.
I think that would be cool.
NXT Mexico would be cool, but I don't think they have as big as a fan base down there because of Lucha. Yeah, maybe. He also added about the recruiting plans. Said those on the list have already signed.
On the list.
Some from AAA are still pending, along with ones they hope to bring in from CMLL. This is a big indicator that WWE is not just getting from one promotion, but getting from another. And
they're doing things.
They're trying to put Mexican wrestling and lucha libre on a global scale.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just again reading the news stories. AAA won't be the only thing that WWE is trying to invest in Mexico. It's been reported there are plans that WWE is going to expand into the country of Mexico more by buying or building properties, probably getting a whole new arena and a performance center, and
Well, I guess that
probably a new league or something similar.
that probably like confirms part of that.
Yeah, it's Chad Gable.
It's not Jack Gage.
It's Chad Gable. Don't start with me. Uh, the deal that WWE had made was not
What if
only
that's just what WWE wants you to think?
okay. Enough of that. Just
So
drop
that way they can pay him less.
just drop it.
Or that they don't have to pay him at all.
I'm going to reach over and smack you.
SmackDown?
Anyway, so the partnership they got from Mexico, it's called Philip. It is a sports and entertainment company
They shook hands
based
with a
in
guy named
Mexico.
Philip.
What?
They shook hands with a guy named Philip.
No, that's the name of the company, like TKO. So it's a sports and entertainment company that's based in Mexico. So there's a lot of things moving and grooving down there that WWE is trying to do. But the Ocampo guy has went off and said Alberto Del Rio is not officially signed with WWE. WWE has not officially signed him.
I feel like WWE has a bad enough rep when it comes to
All
sensitive subjects like that.
all that they're doing with AAA is inheriting existing contracts. That's all they're doing. They may release him because they've had bad dealings with him in the past.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, the whole confirmation of certain things.
yeah, but here they're saying
If not, they're going to end up with another McMahon case, and I don't think they want that.
no. They've got someone, I guess, saying they did not give him a contract at all. He still has his contract through AAA, and they're just taking that. WWE's just inheriting that contract.
I mean, technically,
He's still under AAA's
WWE
contract.
bought AAA, so they control AAA, but AAA has a contract with this other guy, this bad guy.
If you want to get on technicalities and everything, then yeah, sure, okay. Maybe they did, but they didn't give
And because of that,
They
WWE didn't sign him. They just own the company that signed him.
yeah.
So
I mean,
now, if he appears on WWE programming,
that's not going to
different.
happen.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen because of his long checkered past, starting from WWE all the way to AAA. Let me just let you know on some things that he accomplished.
Accomplished.
He was released in 2024 after he had gotten into an altercation with someone that was employed through WWE. He slapped a social media manager after the employee had apparently or allegedly made a racist remark. So he slapped the hell out of him. WWE saw that as unprofessional conduct and released him. He returned back to WWE in 2015, but left again a year later because of frustrations over creative direction.
All right, we'll see you. I think next episode.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see you
so-
tomorrow night.
Night, Chris. They're that Chris, not this Chris.
After he left WWE for the final time in 2016, because again, he was frustrated with creative direction of his character, and then he violated the wellness policy violated the wellness policy, meaning he had tested positive for some type of illegal drug in his system. Now, outside of the ring,
He literally violated.
he literally had some issues. Like back in 2020, he was arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault. Apparently, they were dropped a year later due to insufficient evidence, but that still wasn't good enough. And I think at one point, him and Soraya had dated, and she had left him because of him being very controlling and abusive in the relationship. And, of course, hearing the allegations of the kidnapping and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, again, you still have the kidnapping part, and that's not exactly the greatest thing either. So,
Well, right now we don't
even
have...
by itself.
Yeah, well, we don't have a 100% definitive word yet on what WWE is doing with him. His name is just on a list of wrestlers right now.
I think they're gonna release him.
They may just be like, you know what? After what you've done,
Get out of here.
And then not only that, he got into a altercation with a fan in the audience. I believe earlier this year,
Did he
2
throw a
months
chair
ago.
at them?
Yes.
Oh, he's the chair throw guy.
Yeah, he got into a fight with a male fan, picked up a chair and tried to throw him and hit him with it, and it hit an elderly woman.
Oh,
And he got suspended from AAA for doing that.
I thought that was a different guy.
No. See, anywhere he goes, he's causing trouble.
I thought that at least was a different guy, but nah, this guy.
It's the very same one.
Yeah, if you want.
Go for it. But some fans have expressed when hearing about this.
Instead of 100 men versus one girl, it'd be 100 men versus ADR.
I can actually see that happening.
We could take
But here's what some fans are saying.
the sequel to the Josh fight. I just realized.
Can I get these sayings out?
Yeah, sorry.
Jeez, man. Quote, LFMAO. This company doesn't give an S about anything. They really signed Del Rio after everything he's done. Quote, Del Rio has always sucked. Quote, Del Rio, we fired those talents because of their ages. Signs 47-year-old Alberto Del Rio. We don't know the real reason why they cut him. It's led to believe budget cuts. Someone said, fires Dakota Kai, but signs Alberto Del Rio. People are then repeating that one. WWE, we're a global brand of empowerment. Also WWE, re-signs Alberto Del Rio, known abuser, charisma vacuum, S-wrestler, general liability, even by AAA's low standards, because nothing says fresh start like a botch merchant with a criminal record. Meanwhile, in the Legion of...
They're doing that Disney treatment.
A lot of people just basically giving a lot of hate to Alberto Del Rio, but you've got people coming back and saying, we didn't sign him. WWE hasn't signed him. There is no official word yet. They're just gathering up the contracts, and those are just some of the people they're gathering the contracts from that are AAA contracts, not WWE.
I still think they're going to cut
Like
him.
Ocampo had said, and that's pretty much it that I had in the news. Like Ocampo said, those contracts that AAA had are crap. They don't have like full. They're nothing like WWE contracts. They're just inheriting their contracts. They're still going to wrestle for AAA with those contracts being held by WWE. Now, if
I think he will. If Bronson Reed comes back, he's going to be a face, and he's going to attack Rusev, and that's how they get that storyline started.
that or
there.
team with them. Now,
With that too, yeah.
this whole thing with the contract thing, people are just not understanding. They just automatically think Alberto Del Rio is signed to WWE. Why are they signing him on? This guy is like done so much bad things. But you got AAA saying they didn't sign him. They just have his contract right now in their hands. And eventually WWE might just say, you know what? He's still a problem, especially after what happened 2 months ago by throwing a chair in the audience at a fan. and all the stuff he's done here, and then stuff that's been going on legally outside of the ring. He's got legal problems. He's a liability. We cannot have that liability here under this new regime that we are having. And we can't even take one chance with him. Because we let him go in 2024 after assaulting a staff member. We brought him back, but then he wanted to leave because he was throwing a fit over creative differences.
Yeah.
And, that's just how it is. I honestly and personally, I don't think we're seeing Alberto Del Rio in a WWE ring at all in the future.
No.
If WWE is even entertaining this idea, they're playing with fire. And
For a large number of reasons.
yes, this guy, like a lot of people are saying, is a walking liability. Who's to say he doesn't lash out at a fan and accidentally hurt a child?
Yeah.
And then not only that, the legal troubles, it doesn't matter if he was cleared because there was insufficient evidence. The fact is, he was accused of it. And it's a rare accusation of kidnapping. And
the thing is,
I'm abbreviating it, SA.
And even if they didn't prove the SA, that's still kidnapping.
Yeah, but then you also have Saraya going off saying he's capable of it because he was abusive in our relationship. But then you had Del Rio coming back and saying she was abusive. It was one of those he said, she said things. But when you've got someone accusing him of sexual assault and kidnapping, and then you got Saraya saying he was abusive.
That seems to, yeah.
I mean, come on. That's nothing but red flags and saying, look, if he is a good wrestler in the ring, it doesn't matter. His stuff outside the ring and what he's doing with fans, no.
They could end up very quickly with another Chris. I said that with a W instead of an R. But they could end up with another Benoit situation very easily with this guy.
Yeah.
Potentially even worse than the Benoit situation.
I don't know how you could possibly get worse, but
SA and then murder. I mean, that got dark quick, but...
yeah. But still.
And not just that, but this guy doesn't seem to be having any of the excuses that they used with Benoit.
Yeah.
He seemed, from what I've heard...
Oh, the concussion thing?
Yeah. I don't know if they can blame that. He just seems like the aggressive type.
He is. Out of the ring, he is aggressive.
So,
I mean, he's proven that by throwing a chair at people.
if they do decide to, if WWE does sign him, I don't think there's much excuse for that. I don't think there's any excuse for that.
You're going to have a lot of people going, really? We're going to do this? No.
In fact, you might actually even have people boycott WWE. I think he did. Eddie
In a sense, Eddie and Ray kind of did. They opened it up to WWE a little bit more. And then came everyone else. But back to this, I honestly think, and you've got Nick Khan running things with WWE, as well as the guy that's running TKO. The guy that's running TKO has final say, and he's got to look at this because he also has rights to UFC.
I don't think this is a liability that anyone wants to deal with.
No. I mean, you look at it from a standpoint of just as a full sports team. You've got a player that has got run-ins with the law and has had
multiple backstage incidents.
Yeah,
and even
multiple
incidents
locker
with
room
fans.
incident, stuff like that. It's like, if you're you have a football team, and I know this is going to be going like way off.
He's going to accidentally describe a real headline.
No,
football player hauls off and attacks like his wife or something. I don't know.
you have someone that
Tony Khan would sign him.
Yeah, Tony Khan wouldn't care. You have someone that on your team that is causing problems with your staff, who physically assaulted your staff, and has had issues with fans, almost assaulted a fan, then has run-ins with the law. You don't want that. Cut him. You don't want that guy on your team because he's a reflection of your team. So with WWE, their wrestlers, their superstars are a reflection. That's what
I ended up just saying it accidentally
Yeah.
earlier, so I mean it's
But-
fine either way.
they are a reflection of them in a way.
I mean, people. Like, I remember, I think it was Cornette when we were listening at him one time, who said a lot of the fans of AEW are ironic fans or something like that. And if that's the case, like the final nail in the coffin for AEW would be like some real controversy, not just this is.
There was real controversy with CM Punk.
There was. Oh yeah, I mean like
2 fights backstage, but it wasn't CM Punk.
yeah.
Okay.
And you saw.
Okay, this is how I see it. There's 2 sides to every story. You've got the Elite, that's Kenny Omega,
You literally, it's,
Adam Page, and the Young Bucks.
This
Their
is gonna
side of the
accidentally turn into like social commentary or something.
Okay, so what? But you've got those guys against CM Punk, but those guys agreed to sign CM Punk to AEW.
Yeah.
They get into a fight with him backstage after a wrestling event, after he had a press conference saying, I'm basically working with children, and you've got EVPs that are not acting like EVPs, and going off about Adam Page, about how he's...
We don't have wrestlers. We don't have superstars. We have clowns, brother.
I mean, that's what he was saying, basically. And then it caught wind to Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and they decide to confront him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like around the time I started, I thought it was cool that Punk showed up. But
I thought it was
Yeah.
cool because I haven't seen him in wrestling in years.
yeah, like, but then you over here have again some of these things happen, and another thing. I maybe I used the wrong terminology with like real controversy, because even looking at the CM Punk situation, you saw a lot of people leaving AEW after that. And then again, you had the whole Chris Jericho accusations that I don't think really got confirmed or denied. It just kind of got
Very true. Oh, I
swept
remember
under the
those,
rug.
yeah.
So now we're having this other guy get thrown in there. That could again be the final nail for AEW, because again, and provably that he did these things, not like with Jericho where it's just accusations and there's no real proof either way.
Right. I mean, with the CM Punk thing, you're talking about the first incident was just him expressing how he felt. And then
I thought it was also some other guy going into business for himself.
it was because a lot of people were threatened that he was there in the company, and then you have them confronting him after a press conference and getting into a fight. They suspend everyone involved. They have the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega come back sooner than CM Punk because they didn't yes, he is.
Yeah, he keeps it in a briefcase or suitcase or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, he still is. But and don't get me wrong, I'm a CM Punk fan, and yeah, I will say for sure, the first fight, he shouldn't have really opened that out in the open and just professionally expressed, hey, I'm not liking it here, all this. And he even said in an interview after he left the company, he mentioned that to Tony Khan. Tony Khan then came up with the concept of Collision and put CM Punk on Collision and keep Kenny, the Young Bucks, and Adam Page on Dynamite. So that way when they travel, they're not in the same town or anything like that. They're separate.
Yeah.
And CM Punk even told him that's not even a good idea. So with that, CM Punk was constantly telling Tony Khan, look, I'm doing the best I can. You're doing the best you can. All I'm doing is I'm causing problems. I'll just leave. I'll leave. You know, he was willing to leave because he saw how everyone was just getting their feathers ruffled because someone like CM Punk coming in, and this promotion is supposed to be about promoting the independent wrestlers that didn't, or people that didn't get any screen time in WWE, to be pushed like they're supposed to, and people felt threatened by Punk. Then the whole incident that happened with Jack Perry was he was wanting to use real glass in this one match that he was having, and everyone, the executives were telling him, no, you can't use real glass. We don't have. It's not in the budget, and it's real dangerous if we do that. What if glass flies in one of your eyes? We can't do that. Da 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 da. Jack Perry is like very adamant. I'm gonna do it. I want to do it. Da 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 da. Throwing a fit like a little kid. They get CM Punk
but
involved.
I want to touch the fire.
That kind of thing. And CM Punk, they asked CM Punk, they get him involved, and he didn't want anything to be a part of it. He's not
flat out telling them that they're not going to like the way he handles it.
Yeah, can you convince him not to do it and everything? And he's like, why? You need to, he's basically telling Tony Khan, look, you need to step up and run this company, man, because
you need to be the big boy adult.
You need to put on the big boy. You need to put on the big boy pants and actually do something, because you got a guy running around wanting to use real glass in a spot in a match. It's very dangerous. I've tried to convince him, and and Jack Perry was threatening people like, hey, I'm going to do this. I don't care what you say, or else, da da da. And it got to the point where CM Punk said, I'm going to. I would say Seth Rollins and then CM Punk. Then CM Punk came about and said, look, well, maybe. But Punk came about and told Tony Khan, look, I'll do this, but if it starts to get a little crazy, you're not going to like the way I do it or I handle it. I'm just forewarning you. And sure enough, now the video that was shamefully released by
with no
AEW,
audio, mind you.
With no audio, you see Jack Perry and CM Punk having this verbal conversation, and CM Punk immediately gets him into a chokehold, into a headlock chokehold, and people were jumping at him and everything and trying to get him off, try to pull him apart. And that's where you see CM Punk they're bumping into the production table where Tony Khan was sitting, and he immediately Punk turned around and immediately told Tony Khan, this is ridiculous, this is BS, I told you this was going to happen, da-da-da-da-da. And then he went to go have his match with Samoa Joe and then came back. Jack Perry was then told to leave the building and go back to the hotel. CM Punk then flew home. And it was there that Tony Khan decided, we're going to go ahead and release CM Punk because my life was threatened.
We're going to release Punk, but suspend Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack Perry.
Jack Perry.
He was better when he was Jungle Boy, I'm going to be honest. I liked him better.
But it was how they handled that with CM Punk that was like, you guys just pretty much did what you wanted with him. You used him up and then just, that's it.
Yeah. The same thing that everybody in AEW accuses WWE of doing.
Exactly.
And back to the whole point real quick, I had a thought. Even in a circus, you have to have a ringmaster.
Well said.
Even,
very well said.
And as much as Punk calls AEW a circus, who's the leader? Right? You have Tony Khan saying he runs it. You have the Elite saying they run it. You have the Death Riders saying that they control AEW or that they're taking over or something.
Whether it's storyline or not.
Yeah. And even with the matches and storylines, there doesn't seem to be any real direction that I'm seeing.
Yeah. And again, This isn't us just critiquing or telling AEW what to do. We don't run a promotion. We don't know what it means to run a wrestling promotion. But as a fan, what we see, especially after that whole incident that we had just talked about, thought that was a bunch of BS. Personally, I thought that was a bunch of BS. That's not how you handle something. When someone is...
The CM Punk issue,
When-
incidents, both of them, ended up showing a lot about AEW, for better or for worse.
Yeah. And...
Like, that did a lot to pull back the curtain, even more than what people say Triple H is doing. And that's mostly because Triple H is doing it in a good, in I guess a relatively good way, in a positive light.
Because... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Without the whole... without it being leaked through controversy
Of course.
and drama.
Now, what he's planning on doing with this is he's trying to give props to those behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The people behind the camera that are making
It's
these stories
genuinely
happen.
a positive intent behind it.
There is. A lot of people are like, oh, this is going to spoil wrestling, blah, blah, blah. No, it isn't. This is giving the flowers to the people behind the scenes that are behind the camera, that are busting their asses every single day to get a story out onto TV of a match that's happening at a pay-per-view. Like
it's either this or they just flat out treat it like a show and have like a credit roll at the end of every episode of Raw.
Pretty much.
Like an actual credit roll, not just the
executive producers and then that's it. No.
and the copyright date and whatnot.
Yeah. It's just that, and I agree. What you said so perfectly. If it is a circus, who's the ringmaster? In WWE, we know very well who the ringmaster is. If we want to call it a circus, I don't personally want to call it a circus, but with AEW, we don't know. They say Tony Khan's in charge. His dad forked over the money for it,
but in his handling of the first CM Punk situation and the second, because instead of
the overall CM Punk situation.
Yeah, in both of them, in both of these incidents, neither of those times he wanted to step in and be the big boss.
Yeah. And then whenever he did, it was like I was in fear for my life.
Yeah.
I never felt scared
and only
for my
that
life.
reason did he fire someone or suspend anyone.
When all that CM Punk did was just yell at him. And he attacked Jungle Boy because Jack Perry, I'm not gonna call him Scapegoat. I'm not calling him by his ring name. It's his real name, Jack Perry.
Well, the thing is, I can't tell if that's a real name or not. So.
No, that's his real name.
And I have a tendency of
Because
just
his
saying
dad's name was Luke Perry,
Oh.
the famous actor who was in Beverly Hills 90210 or something like that. He was a TV actor and a movie actor. And Jack Perry is the son of him. And I'm going to boldly say it. If Luke Perry could see how his son is behaving or was behaving during that incident, he'd be ashamed. He really would. I mean, as a father, if I saw him acting that way on a promotion, hypothetically, he's wrestling, and then he's over here throwing a fit about something.
I'm going to throw a fit right now. No, I'm joking.
I mean, I'd be ashamed. So, I don't know. Jack Perry's going through this emo, my daddy died phase. You saw the TNT belt that he created. It was an all-black belt.
Yeah.
Might as well have cried making it and listening to My Chemical Romance. And I know that's bad because that's one of my favorite bands to put them into association with Jack Perry.
Yeah.
Like I said, new type of show, new attitude, and I'm saying how I feel about it.
You could say that he was coping.
He was what?
He was coping. Because there was a guy at AEW named
Okay,
Cope. That
was a stretch.
Yeah.
That was a stretch. No, but all this sparked off because of Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
If I was a promoter, I wouldn't want him in my company at all. That's because of his history. I don't care how many times he's saying, no, it was alleged, it was not proven, all this other stuff.
Even without that, you have a history of work incidents within promotions.
A job. If you look at it in real life situations, at a job.
Yeah.
And you have one employee that they may not be doing the same thing over and over again, but they're having so many incidences that you have to let them go. Or if you're interviewing someone for a job and you see these many incidences and one of them was just recent 2 months ago, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I cannot hire this person. I cannot have this person working for my company because they're going to represent my company, and it's going to reflect that their behavior is acceptable with me, and it's not.
Because another thing, in all of those incidents around Del Rio or whatever, he seems to be like the common denominator or whatever. So, yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is that's hopefully he was just making something up or misinterpreting something, and I mean for us anyway, because it would be kind of bad to just make someone seem bad for something that I guess they were in the right for. But from the sound of it, he was in the wrong all of those times.
Yeah, whether it was true or not.
Yeah,
it's still ridiculous that we still have to talk about it after all this time.
So what do you want to talk about? Right?
Yeah, but again, everyone now knows how I feel about the whole CM Punk incident that happened in AEW. And this whole situation right now with Alberto Del Rio, I would say,
AEW.
and AEW, but we continue to still watch it because we still have hope that somehow, some way, it could be turned around for the better.
And the thing is, we're kind of seeing that with AEW. You've got some guys like the Hurt Syndicate, where
they're slowly but surely doing that. Yeah. I mean, I'm loving the Hurt Syndicate storyline with MJF. I'm loving it.
Even MJF has also been like another, good thing in AEW.
Yeah, the guy knows how to do a gimmick in and out of the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a well-rounded heel.
Yeah. And so far, he's like the only guy I think has actually been in storylines reliably. Even if a few of them might be rushed by certain standards.
I mean, the storyline with him and Adam Cole was great. The storyline with him and CM Punk was great.
Even though I don't think I saw too much of the one between him and Punk.
Him and Punk, it was great. I'm telling you. It was a good storyline, good match, and a good final match to end the storyline,
But
too.
the one between him and Cole, definitely, that was
really, really good. The one he's currently in right now with the Hurt Syndicate, I'm loving it. I really am. It's really good. Very little physical contact between him and Bobby Lashley, except for this last week. But
this time it seems like they're trying to do like a slow build type thing.
Yeah, to where we've got they got another pay-per-view that's coming up, and it could come down to at that pay-per-view that MJF joins the Hurt Syndicate.
Because I think the Cole MJF one that lasted like 2-3 pay-per-views.
It lasted quite a bit since the forming of them as a team.
Maybe 4 or 5 pay-per-views.
Give or take.
But it didn't really last super duper long.
No.
And I think with a storyline like that, you would probably need a longer amount of time.
You do. Especially a good one.
Because, no, it really did go pretty short because they started in April time frame as enemies, and they became friends for a bit, and then at All In you had that betrayal or whatever.
Yeah.
So that really
was either All In or All Out, one of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one really was, and again, longer than that for them to go through all that. I feel. Yeah. At least a year.
Well, speaking of long, we've
gone at 35 minutes over.
Yeah, give or take. So, real quick before we get out of here, here's our socials. We've got all the socials listed there. Please follow on them.
On
We'll
Discord, we have the match of the year, match of the month, match of the week votes.
We still got that going. That we'll probably go into tomorrow. We'll send out we'll send out the links per request, and hopefully you guys get in there and vote. Also, when you're in the social media sites, feel free to just message us. We'd be more than happy to answer any messages you guys send us, and answer any questions. And heck, we may even save your question to be told on here live on the show. Also, you can email us any questions or thoughts you have on professional wrestling, or you want to get our thoughts about certain subjects in professional wrestling. You can definitely email us at
crosspromopod@gmail.com.
Okay, and you were wanting to say something?
I was just checking, and it's still tied at 4 votes.
Still tied at 4 votes for last week's match of the week. We need to get a vote in and determine a winner for that so we can move on to this week. We already kicked off this week with the match of the night being Jey Uso taking on Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso defending his title for the first time. His first title defense. And it was successful. So, again, follow us on those social media pages and email us. So, as far as the cross promo show is concerned for tonight's episode, we consider that a lock, and we're going to go ahead and tap on out here. And for the... Oh, hang on.
Buttons and stuff.
Yeah, for the cross promo show, I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris. I was like, wait a minute.
Did you forget your name?
I was like, what else? I guess. I don't know.
Wow, it's been that long of a night.
He's
right,
Kevin.
folks.
I'm Chris. We're the Cross Promo Show, and we gone.
I can't believe you really almost forgot your whole name.
Words.